electricity. But in the evening you can have an electricity with the lights on and things like that. But only several hours, let's say about 6 hours or so. But might be possible to create energy based on the natural conditions. That's the kind of thing. Thank you. Any one of you, please welcome to the left side from Thai. Please welcome all your questions.
His name
Yesterday
is
you explained.
Firom, Pak.
Sorry?
His name is Firom.
Sirom.
Firom. Yeah.
Okay, please.
You can ask freely.
Okay,
Please.
my name is Pirom. I'm from Thailand. So I have heard what you have. I have heard about in Indonesia we have like many volcano, right? Volcano. Yes. So is it the main? It is also the main problem in Indonesia nowadays.
Well, due to the Mediterranean shelf and also the Pacific belt, both of them coming to Indonesia, and perhaps some areas would be around in Thailand as well. And then we have a problem with the earthquake and also volcano. Well, it's not that easy to handle the volcano because we cannot expect at any time. But of course, the preconditions of where the volcano would be very possible emerge. We try to put what we call is the unit to overcome the disaster management, not only in the national level, but also in regional one, especially in the area, the one that belt coming to the, along the regions of the Pulau Jawa, for example, Java Island and also Sumatra. We have, unit concern in the regional level. And of course, not only in the regional level, but also in the local area. So basically, we are trying to hand in hand to help when it happens. The what we call the national budget as well as the local budget will be combined to overcome the problems of disaster and earthquake. Thank you very much. Appreciate so much about your question.
ขอบคุณครับ
คุณครับ Yes, please.
I'm Yupakanit Pongwilakun from Thailand. It's a good idea for hearing that you El Nino represent boy and La Nina represent girl. But in my opinion, boy become man or and girl become woman and maybe change women not mean cool and man not oh El Nino is hot. La Nina is cool, but in Thai, girl or woman hot, not cool. Maybe. Thank you.
Well, interesting. Yeah. Well, appreciate so much about your explanation. So you know that woman is hot in Thai. That's different with our situation. I just I just recall the name of boy and a girl because of the El Nino means boy, name of boy. In Indonesia barangkali namanya untung, kayak gitu. Laki itu pastinya. Tapi yang satunya bukan buntung. Ini advantage and disadvantage or something. Yang satu hot, yang satu cold. Interesting. In Thai, a bit different with us.
There
Anyway,
is,
please.
Professor, there
Yes.
is one
Okay,
question
please.
from Zoom.
Yes, please.
Her name is Lady Hafideti. Please.
Oh, lady.
Yeah.
Okay. Lady.
Lady Hafideti, you can ask the professor directly.
Yes, please. This is my student. Yes. Okay, lady. She used to be my student in the geography, and now she's working in the agricultural department. Well, she asked concerning the pollutions in agricultural base. Well, talking about the agricultural base, mostly in the area of agriculture, we have pesticide. Pesticide is not good for our health. Therefore, we tend to change the chemical pesticide with the organic one, and to make it everything under control. That is, with the organic pesticide, that would be very possible. We reduce the pollutions of the pesticide in the agricultural base. Perhaps a sort of things that, lady, that I can answer your questions. I'm not good in agricultural base, but quite a lot that we are talking about the policy concerning the pollution, how to reduce the pollutions, especially the agricultural base. And this is important for us because the thing is, in daily basis, we are eating rice and potatoes and things like that. So once the product polluted, it's going to be very dangerous for us, especially for our health. Therefore, the government tried to put the situations of research, especially in the area of pesticide, organic pesticide, we call it. Organic pesticide. Perhaps you know better than me. Thank you very much, lady. Anything else
There
of
is
yours?
another one
Yes, please.
question from Syabos Azur Zura.
Okay.
Mr. Syabos, you can ask the professor directly, please.
Yes, please. Okay.
Can you
It's not that clear. Could you repeat it again?
could you yes mention the question again, please?
Unmute, please.
Syabos, you are muted. Please unmute. Yeah. That's okay.
Okay. Uh-huh. Yes. The most heated as it is now. Okay. The most heated in Indonesia, especially in the coastal zone area, which is if we are coming to, wait a minute, six. We are coming currently June, July, August. That would be the most heated one for uh, our country in Indonesia because this is dry season basically. But a few days ago, Indonesia has, I mean, some towns and some urban areas would be having rainy seasons quite sometimes. It's unusual, so it's not that dry basically, but it's around 30 or something. If it is more than 29, it means that even hotter than normal. Thank you very much for your questions. Any one of you guys? Yes, please. The mic with you. Mention your name and your from.
Okay, my name is Rizky. I'm from SMA Negeri 3 Denpasar, Bali. And my question is, do the El Nino and La Nina is always have a bad impact? And what is the most good impact of El Nino and La Nina? Thank you.
Jawabannya susah nih. Yeah, well, as I mentioned before that El Nino is mostly hot. When El Nino comes, it's not always the 6 months later La Nina comes. It's not always. But if it is El Nino very extreme, so another 6 months we can expect La Nina will come. But it is not always because a lot of things happening during the area of different, what is it? This is Pacific Belt, and also the other one is Mediterranean Belt. They are having a lot of monsoon and localized, contribute by other, influence. So it's not always coming at the same time. I mean, at the annual 6 months regular time, but we can expect that if we cannot encourage the forestry rehabilitation for mangrove, for example. So we can expect that it's going to be hotter when El Nino comes. That's the one that I can answer your questions. Thank you. Hope that it's going to be answer acceptable. Thank you. Any one of you more? Please, welcome.
Hello, my name Agus.
Yes.
I'm come from SMA Negeri 3 Denpasar.
Denpasar.
I have maybe a couple of questions.
Okay.
The first is in my hometown in Denpasar,
Huh?
in the south region is nowadays is come of heavily abrasive coastal,
Oh, okay.
but is nowadays is become more and more hard.
Hot. Okay.
Can it be possible caused by El Nino or El Nino, La Nina?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the second is
Second?
in globally, I think I heard that desert is grown a lot faster this day. Can be it caused by the same thing?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, once you are asking about the hot things, it depends on the surrounding areas of your region. For example, if you are staying in the area where the forest is quite good in there, so we can expect that the hot things is not that extreme. But if you don't have any vegetations, and also perhaps you lose all the mangrove things and everything drought, so it's possibly happened because of the hot situation in the local area, not always in El Nino. But El Nino happens usually when the area is, let's say, along the line of Java Island, for example. It's not only small one. Along the line of Java Island or Sumatra base, for example. So the area would be wider than when our region within in a town or in urban areas, even wider. So the drought would be impacted on the area basically in the coastal zone area. So in your area, perhaps a bit localized, I would say, if you have a lot of vegetations, that would be lucky for you. So basically, in the area where we stay, as much as possible, you put the plantation and things, forestations, and also mangrove when possible. You develop something in there, so make it easier to make humidity a bit constant, so it's not that extreme when El Nino comes. Thank you.
Professor, there is one from
Okay,
Zoom
please.
virtual meeting.
Yes, please. Welcome.
Mr. Ahmad Kadafi, please.
Ahmad Kadafi.
Your
Oh, this
question.
is another guy. Yeah, I remember this guy. Thank you. Okay, welcome. Mas
Yes,
Kadafi.
please. Unmute yourself and ask the professor directly.
Okay, please.
Mr.
Welcome.
Ahmad.
Welcome, Mas.
Okay, good.
Okay, Mas Kadafi, are you there? We haven't heard you. Or maybe you can use the WhatsApp.
Maybe we
chat.
we can ask him later.
Okay.
Proceed to another
Okay.
one from
Open the floor.
offline participant here.
Offline. At the back one. Who's up?
Participants that sit in the back are coming late.
Anyone? If you
Please.
don't, I will ask. I must.
Well, I recently read about particulate PM 2.5.
Could you mention your name
Oh,
first
I'm
and
sorry.
institution?
My name is Kartika Nikova. I'm from Universitas Pendidikan Ganesha, Bali. And I recently read about particulate PM 2.5. Could you explain more what is PM 2.5 and why is it very dangerous for our health? Thank you.
Yeah, Mbak. Okay. Particulate 2.5 ppm usually. That's very highly polluted. If it is down below 2, perhaps we can say it's not that extreme. ppm is a kind of units that we can measure in the context of pollution, air pollution. Well, usually we have a kind of instrument that absorb the dust here around up to a certain level that we can say that this is tolerable, can be acceptable by this room, for example. And then when it comes to the more than 2.5 ppm, it means that this is highly polluted. For example, we've got the the combustion coming from truck, for example, and then that is very black when we absorb, when we take breathe, so it's going to be very poison for our lung. So a kind of level where the pollution is highly and badly damage our health. Thank you, Ma. That's a kind of pollution, air pollution. Thank you. Any one of you more than?
There is question, Professor,
Yes, please.
from
Okay.
chat box in Zoom. I will
Okay.
read. Currently, environmental damage is not only caused by world climate change, but human behaviors like
Yes.
energy consumption
Yeah.
in the world. How much environmental damage is caused by energy consumption in the world?
As
Please,
I
Professor.
mentioned before, there's this environmental issues. We can see that the planet, the prosperity, and the people. So if it is not naturally happen, usually the what is it? The typical of characteristic of people who stayed in there. So in this context, that human beings would be the one that very possible to make environmental damage. So, as I mentioned also about truck driver, for example, the truck driver with combustion with is not proper for the engine, so the combustion would be making the pollution, air pollution is even bad than we expected. So in this context, that human characteristic would be having, would be having problems with the situations of environmental issues in the country or even in the town. So talking about human beings, normally when we are talking about urban area, we can have a lot of activities in the urban areas, and one of them perhaps having some impacts on the region, for example, like truck driver or even transportation, which is not proper in condition of engine. So it's going to be highly polluted for the area. I remember when we come to Bangkok last time, 2000, hang on, 1990s, about that time. Bangkok is even worse than Jakarta, but now Bangkok is good. Somehow they have a kind of public transport, which is like BRT or MRT in here. They are developing even, even earlier than us. And they expect that with the MRT, they can distribute all people 90,000 per hours, they can come to the city of Bangkok. So it's much better than before. So Jakarta also doing the same thing. Now we have MRT and also perhaps later LRT. That would be very good to reduce the conditions of environmental damage in the country or in the town or even in urban areas. So behavior of human beings would be very, having significant issues in the context of environmental damage. Thank you very much for the questions. I think we have to aware about our conditions as well. So if we do properly, do the right things, that is, put all the things in the garbage bin and things like that, make it tidy and everything, don't make it mess or something in the country or whereabout you stay. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for the answer. Bangkok is already renamed Krung Thep Mahanakon, right? Okay. So, is there anyone from here? Offline participants? And Zoom? No?
If there are no questions, it means that you fully understood or not even understand any. Which one you prefer? Fully understood. Okay.
Maybe then your turn, Professor, to ask them.
Okay, I will ask one of them. I want to make sure whether you're listening or you're sleeping. You. I want to. Why? Or you, perhaps. Okay. Where are you from? Surabaya. Which part of Surabaya are you from? Which part of Surabaya? I'm from Plampitan. Di mana?
Paman Baru.
Okay. What about the public transport in there? Is that more combustion? Public transport like bus or something? Where do you take your public transport to school?
Motorcycle.
Motorcycle. Okay. Are you having a regular treatment for your motorcycle to get the services, for example? Motor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't give any pollution at all, though, or maybe just slow. It's not that high pollution.
You can explain in bahasa if you
Bahasa
want.
aja.
Please.
Kamu kan
Silakan.
mau mengadakan servis motor reguler. Kalau nggak melakukan reguler, gimana tuh hasilnya?
Motornya jadi nggak enak.
Motornya nggak
Jadi
enak.
nggak enak. Ya.
Nggak enak motornya.
Jadi sedikit aneh.
Oke. Biasanya asapnya tebal atau bagaimana?
Keluar asap dari knalpot.
Nah, emang dari hidungmu enggak? Of course dari knalpot. Cerita aja.
Kalau tidak diservis sudah terlalu lama, akan
Pembakarannya tidak baik ya.
Iya.
Nah ini yang menjadikan polusi ya.
Iya.
Oke, bagus. Apa treatmentmu untuk motormu? Jadi regular treatment biasa, services.
Kalau motor saya kan metik, jadi yang servis reguler yang dilakukan itu bersihkan bagian CVT sama ganti oli.
Oke, bagus. Oke, selamat. Terima kasih ya, Mas. Baik, sekarang yang lain. Di belakang nih, biar agak bunyi. Mas, kamu? Yes. Wah, kamu nih gimana udah jauh-jauh ke Jakarta. Ayo Mas, kamu ya. Bahasa Indonesia juga nggak apa-apa. Kalau kamu ke sekolah naik apa?
Naik sepeda motor.
Oh sama juga ya kasusnya. Sepedanya apa? Sepeda motornya?
Vario.
Vario. Hah? Kok ini kayaknya kembar. Terus saya mau nanya apa kalau udah vario nih? Servisnya gimana servisnya?
Saya nggak pernah nyervis kan.
Nggak pernah nyervis kan?
Nggak.
Terus kamu gimana treatmentnya? Masih bagus kah dia punya pembakaran?
Masih bagus.
Bagus ya?
Iya.
Tahun berapa itu?
Sekitar tahun 2015-an.
Oh udah cukup lama tapi bagus ya. Tapi kamu nggak tahu servis, kamu tahu make ya?
Pakai aja.
Enak juga nih. Kurang bertanggung jawab kamu nih. Oke, terima kasih Mas. Yang lain di belakang nih. Mana nih Mbak? Ini kemana nih? Ini. Kamu kalau ke sekolah, ke kampus, pakai apa Mbak?
Sepeda motor juga.
Oh sama juga. Terus kok ini sepeda motor semua nih? Gak ada yang public transport yang lain? Regular treatment dengan services biasa dilakukan?
Iya.
Gitu ya? Terus menurut kamu tinggal di mana?
Di Buleleng, Bali.
Bali. Kalau Buleleng relatif terbuka, nggak terlalu banyak polusi ya.
Iya.
Iya kan?
Iya.
Itu sehat nggak perlu ditanya tuh, kamu yang mesti nanya saya tuh. Oke, terima kasih Mbak.
Ya,
Kamu jadi udah paham kapan berpolusi, kapan tidak ya. Kira-kira ya. Oke, bagus. Udah kelihatannya pada mengerti nih, alhamdulillah. Ngelindurnya bener. Oke. Any more questions? Welcome to the jungle of environmental science. Apa aja yang mau ditanya? Boleh environmental issues. Yang nggak ada di paparan juga boleh kalau saya bisa jawab. Kamu mau nanya?
Pakai bahasa Indonesia.
Boleh.
Perkenalkan, nama saya Ferdiansyah dari SMA Negeri 21 Surabaya. Nah, ya, izin bertanya Prof. Saya ingin bertanya mengenai beberapa tahun belakangan ini kan lagi rame-ramenya soal ini ya Prof. Kayak kendaraan listrik, terus mobil listrik gitu-gitu Prof. Sedangkan kalau kita lihat di Indonesia sendiri kan energi listrik kan masih paling besar itu kan dari batu bara ya Prof. Nah, untuk di Indonesia untuk sementara ini apakah di Indonesia ini worth it enggak Prof? Kalau kita pakai kendaraan listrik? Kan juga Indonesia sendiri kan listriknya dari batu bara. Terima kasih.
Makasih, pertanyaan kamu bagus nih. Posisi saya bisa bergeser nih gara-gara pertanyaan kamu nih. Pada dasarnya gini, ini Indonesia nih umumnya ya. For Indonesian, untuk orang-orang Indonesia biasanya if there is a new breakthrough, we follow. But we never think about advantage and disadvantage. But of course, the advantage one would be promoted. For example, the safety energy, for example, when we are doing the vehicle, electric vehicle, for example. But on the other side, nobody think about the impact of battery, for example. If we see the impact of battery, we have to think twice rather than we create it. You understand what I mean? Because the risk is very high. The content of electricity itself, when it comes to the applications, and then finish the age of the battery, so where about we put the battery? Think about it. Perhaps in your era later, you have to think how to resolve the problems of battery from electricity. So think about it. But for the government currently, government tried to push the electricity vehicle, and also we have the resources from nickel, titanium, and rare earths, and so on. All about the materials for the electricity battery. But we never thought about the next after the battery. Think about it. But I won't say that I agree with the electricity car or electricity vehicle, and I don't agree. No, not because of that. Because I'm a scientist, so I'm just thinking about what next after the electricity vehicle. We think about it, how to resolve the problems of battery after they are having, what is it, what is it, they're having the applications. So it's going to be very dangerous for the situations of environmental issues. Thank you. Your question is very smart, and I believe that we have to think about the future of electricity vehicles later, because the battery would be the problem for us. And we can see the examples of what happened in Europe, for example. They are thinking about in France, for example, they are thinking about how to reduce these problems. They just put it as a, like like wreckers. Wreckers is like a warehouse where we can put all the vehicles in there. They cannot use that anymore. But some researchers mentioned that we can use, perhaps it's not for the vehicle, but another thing that is with the 80% of the age of the battery, we can use the rest. So make it longer to be used, much be better. Thank you very much. Your questions is appreciated so much. Okay, anything else? Yes, please, Mbak.
Okay, as you can, I'm Angelina from SMA 21 Surabaya. I want to ask, in Indonesia, there are like public transportation in Jakarta, like MRT or LRT. So in like basically in South Korea, there are some of public transportation like that. Would it be possible for Indonesia to have public transportation that are accountability for a lot of people? Because as you can see, Indonesia is a big country. Would it be possible for us to use public transportation to reduce all of our own, our own pollution? Thank you.
Thank you, Mbak. This is basically good questions, and I believe that it has to go to not only one or two ministers, but also combined among them. For example, transportation is under public works quite a lot, but energy and others would be another ministries. Talking situations of the transportations in Korea, they are having some kind of good public transportations, and mostly people in Seoul and other cities, they are using public transport because the public transport has a good a good distributions around the urban areas. So anywhere we can go, the public transport is there. But in the country like Indonesia, for example, Jakarta, with widespread of transportation as well, but currently we have public transport. I would say semi-public transport like Gojek and Grab would be resolve the problems of urban transportations. But knowing situations of such, of course, we can develop in any cities which is acceptable for kind of transport like Grab and Gojek. Perhaps we can reduce the problems of public transport. So I would say semi-public transport, because public transport is provided by the government, but basically Gojek and Grab is not provided by government. Government only provide in terms of policy rather than the vehicle themselves. So I think we can resolve the problems based on our capacity. This is a good question, and I think in the future we can have a lot of perhaps the terms of Gojek is one of them, but another types of Gojek would be developed in other cities. Thank you very much. Anything else? You you talk about your area, please, your city, Manokwari. Where about you? Please. Cerita aja tentang public transport di sana. Kan saya nggak pernah ke sana. Penting kan bahasa Indonesia.
Yeah, so in Manokwari,
Please mention your name and institution.
my name is Justinus Serang. I'm from SMA Catholic Villanova. Just want to talk about public transport in Manokwari, Papua Barat. The transport there is, I think, if we call it ojek. It's like Gojek, yeah. And we use taxi, but I think our public transport is terribly polluted. It has more like smoke coming out of the back. I think if we keep it doing like that, it's gonna break the environment. I haven't had any solutions yet, but I think if we just reduce more vehicle, I think it would be better. Thank you.
Okay. So what did you go to school?
I walk. Yeah, I stayed in dormitory. It's pretty close. Yeah. No, it's not that. Yeah. I'm in dormitory, and my school is just next to it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck. Anyway.
Thank you.
Interesting in Manokwari. There is ojek as well as taxi. Can you also share some public transport in your area, Surabaya? Share aja. Jadi pada
Di Surabaya lebih sering pakai sepeda motor atau kalau enggak mobil sih. Bis kota juga itu. Ya. Iya, bentor juga. Beca udah jarang sih. Yang lebih sering bentor, bis kota, sepeda motor sama mobil.
masih ada beca.
Iya.
Untuk saya masih nyebut. Oke, bentor ya. Oke. Di Medan nih, kemarin ada yang dari Medan. Mana yang dari Medan? Ada yang dari Medan? Bisa cerita tentang bentor, ayo Mas. Please, welcome. Cerita dong about your area, please.
My name is Habibi from Safiatul Amalia High School. So in Medan at this moment, Bentor is we can say it changed by the Gojek and Grab or other semi public transportation. Because most of us in Medan is use personal transportation like car or motorcycle. Maybe that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, so bentor would be alternative of public transport ya in Medan. Bentor itu becak motor bukan? Hah? Muasalnya bentor. Iya becak motor. Ada montor ya kalau Jawa ya. Kalau bahasa Indonesia kan motor. Kalau Jawa tuh montor. Ada N-nya di tengahnya. Okay. Any more areas that can share? Ayo Mas, please welcome. Kita share aja banyak-banyak jadi saling tahu meskipun lain kota. Silakan Mas.
Hello, my name is Rico from Bali dan Pasar.
Okay.
In Bali, we usually use Grab, Gojek, motorcycles or car. And for me, I usually with motorcycle go to my school. And same at Jakarta, but the difference is Jakarta have MRT, but we didn't have.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Ya hampir belum ada ya lain tempat selain Jakarta ya MRT. Tapi kita juga lagi norak-noraknya MRT gitu. Sebenarnya MRT biasa-biasa aja, mahal aja, lebih mahal. Cuma Transjakarta sekarang agak baik dan lengkap. Ini lain kota mana mau share? Mana Semarang? Semarang. Kemarin ada tuh Semarang tuh. Mana nih Semarang? Masa Semarang pada bolos? Enggak kan? Ada kemarin Semarang tuh, SMA Semarang tuh. Mana Semarang? Ayo wake up. Weki. Mana dari Semarang? Atau lain kota? Dari Jogja? Adakah? Oke, share Mas. Yeah, please.
My name is Sanjay Sopan Sanjaya. I'm from Yogyakarta, Saint Alukan, Wahid Hashim High School.
Okay.
Can
Yes.
speak Indonesian?
Yes, please.
Di Yogyakarta sendiri seperti biasa ada Grab, Gojek, dan kemudian yang beda itu ada Andong, Pak.
Andong,
Nah,
ya.
Andong itu seperti delman yang ditarik kuda seperti biasanya.
Iya,
Terus ada juga becak motor tadi, bentor.
Bentor.
Kemudian becak biasa juga masih banyak di sekitar daerah Malioboro. Thank you very much.
Baik, oke, terima kasih. Andong tuh sebetulnya low pollution ya, jadi tidak berpolusi kecuali kotoran kudanya. Tidak mengenakan. Ada lagi yang lain, kota lain? Bisa sharing? Jadi environmental issue sebetulnya pasti melanda berbagai kota, terutama transport kalau di kota. Tapi selebihnya adalah bergantung pada karakteristik manusianya. Jadi kalau manusianya itu memiliki attitude yang baik, ya, tentu akan melakukan sesuatu yang do the right thing, gitu. Membuang sampah pada tempatnya, menggunakan transport pada waktunya, dan sehingga tidak memberikan polusi yang atau damage lingkungan yang lebih dalam. Mungkin itu saja dari saya. Mungkin saya akhiri dulu. Sudah cukup Mas? Apalagi? Udah semua saya tanyain?
Ya, oke.
Makasih.
Thank you to all participants.
Kalau ada kesalahan hanya pada saya. Kalau kebenaran dari yang di atas. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Please give a round of applause. Thank you very much, Professor Raldi Hendro Koestoer, Master of Science, Philosophy Doctor. Thank you to all participants who raised the question to our webinar today. It was very enlightening for us to enjoy the webinar and become more knowledgeable. Things that I have summarized as moderator and MC from Prof. Raldi's presentation are: first, environmental issues in Indonesia are integral part with disaster and geographical features in Indonesia. Second, Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, are very critical and important for development in Indonesia and other countries around the world. Third, or last but not least, G20 Presidency 2022 Indonesia provides a golden opportunity for the world to recover together, recover stronger, through closer cooperation and collaboration on policy and science. For us, the most important thing is how we can translate our knowledge and insights to concrete action and best practices that could be replicated in other places, locally and even internationally, and brings advantage to the society, nation, and the world. Before we end the webinar session today, there is a photo session together, but due to many participants here, we cannot come to the stage to do photo session together, so we can do photo from cameraman will capture our photo from the stage. Yeah, for virtual participant, I invite all of you to turn on your camera, and the organizer will screenshot all the pages. Please. Prof. Raldi, please. Representative from, maybe some representative from Thailand, from Bali, from Surabaya, from Papua, please. Just one of you. For the symbolic one. For Thailand, please come. From Bali, please come. Okay. Right. From Jogja? Yeah. Nanti yang terakhir baru. Ya. Nanti ke Profesor Raldi sama di press release IYSA. Oke, 3, we count down. 3, 2, 1. You can open your mask for a while and smile, please. Okay, done? Okay, thank you. You can have a seat back. Yeah. So, di sini Pak. Di sini, jadi nanti kameranya ngarep ke sana karena kita jaga protokol. Oh, gitu. For all participants, please stand up. We will have photo together session. Enggak, jadi ini pakai kursi atau pakai meja berdiri kan bisa kelihatan kan? Kelihatan. Bisa. Oh. Sini Pak. Gimana? Biar kelihatan. Thank you very much. Finally, I thank Professor Raldi Hendro Koestoer, Master of Science Philosophy Doctor, for his time and attendance at the webinar of the WSEEC 2022 today, and to all participants and audiences who are attending offline here and joining virtually via Zoom and YouTube channel. Have a very nice day and see you again tomorrow for the awarding ceremony and closing session. I am Stevie Leonard Harrison, representing Himpunan Mahasiswa Pascasarjana Sekolah Ilmu Lingkungan Himpasiling UI, signing off. Thank you very much.
YSA atau Indonesian Young Scientist Association adalah lembaga yang bergerak untuk mengembangkan potensi, bakat, dan kreativitas pelajar Indonesia dengan memberikan kesempatan kepada mereka untuk berpartisipasi dalam kompetisi ilmiah dan non-kompetisi di tingkat nasional maupun internasional.
YSA didirikan pada tahun 2018 yang bertujuan untuk memberikan kesempatan bagi para generasi muda baik di dalam negeri maupun di luar negeri untuk mengeksplorasi kemampuannya pada bidang sains, terutama pada bidang riset ataupun penelitian, dan juga memberikan kesempatan bagi mereka untuk mengikuti kompetisi pada bidang karya ilmiah, invensi, dan inovasi baik pada level nasional maupun internasional.
YSA memiliki tujuan untuk memberikan peluang serta menumbuhkan jiwa kompetisi agar lebih mengoptimalkan potensi yang ada dalam diri pelajar Indonesia, khususnya di bidang sains dan teknologi.
Kini, YSA sudah memiliki lebih dari 50 afiliator di seluruh dunia. Selain memiliki banyak afiliasi yang menyelenggarakan event, YSA juga memiliki event tersendiri. Ada 7 event nasional dan 11 event internasional yang dimiliki oleh IESA. Di antaranya adalah Youth National Science Fair atau YNSF, Online Science Project Competition atau OSPC, National Applied Science Project Olympiad atau NASPO, National Research Teachers Competition atau NRTC, National Invention Competition for Young Muslim Scientists atau NICIMS, dan Lomba Karya Tulis Ilmiah Nasional Smart Researcher atau LKTIN Smart Researcher. Selain itu, ada juga event internasional IESA seperti ASEAN Innovative Science Environmental and Entrepreneur Fair atau ISEF, International Science and Invention Fair atau ISIF, World Invention Competition and Exhibition atau WIC, Indonesia International Applied Science Project Olympiad atau I2ASPO, International Invention Competition for Young Muslim Scientists atau ICIMS, Youth International Science Fair atau YISF, World Youth Invention and Innovation Award atau WYIIA, International Research Teacher Competition atau IRTC, Indonesia International IoT Olympiad atau I3O, dan Indonesia International Invention Expo atau I3EX. Selain kegiatan kompetisi, IESA juga memiliki program non-kompetisi seperti nasional dan internasional webinar, Research Teachers Forum, Online Research Course, IESA Research Portal, IESA Edutainment, IESA Excursion, IESA Venue Review, dan aplikasi rumah riset. Dalam pengembangannya, IESA juga memiliki sederet tim ahli dan staf ahli yang merupakan praktisi, peneliti, dan educator dari berbagai macam institusi di Indonesia. Kini, IESA juga memiliki anggota yang disebut sebagai Member of IESA di 9 daerah besar Indonesia, yaitu Jakarta, Jawa Barat, Jawa Tengah, Jawa Timur, Yogyakarta, Bali dan NTT, Kalimantan dan Riau, Sumatera, dan Sulawesi. IESA juga sudah menjalin kerjasama dengan berbagai institusi nasional dan internasional di berbagai negara di dunia. Jadi, tunggu apa lagi? Bergabunglah dengan Indonesian Young Scientist Association atau IESA dalam meningkatkan potensi pelajar-pelajar Indonesia, terutama di bidang sains dan teknologi.